being an innovator is is something complete. Is something complete. So I'm going to put four L's here. Four L's here. Okay, four L's. Learn. This is very important. Learning. Learning doesn't mean textbooks. Somehow you have to receive knowledge. Somehow you have to receive the knowledge. Learn කියන එකට හොඳ example එකක් මම දෙන්නම්කෝ. Let's give one example. Let's say I have a little daughter schooling. I saw in her textbooks, science book, the pressure. පීඩනය කියලා කියන්නේ in physics. I think many of you knows this. So pressure is mentioned as force divided by area. Pressure is mentioned as force divided by area. I can show if you need really. So that's how they mention pressure. Pressure as the force divided by area. So actually, it is not a knowledge. It is not a knowledge. There is nothing to learn in force divided by area. පීඩනය කියන එක, pressure කියන එක, how to feel it. How you can come to know the true pressure for the physical applications. If pressure happens to be force divided by area, where you see that force divided by area in your pressure gauge? Where you see the force divided by area in your pressure gauge? That's why pressure is something, a physical phenomena you see everywhere. But especially in some cases, like in cooling systems and all, you may have this wording used in engineering applications extensively. But even if you are teaching pressure, if for you as a lecturer, pressure, if it is force divided by area till today, you cannot make yourself innovative, you cannot make your students innovative. We have to ask a question: how the tree, the river, the wind understands the pressure. We should understand the pressure in the same language. Only that people can do the creations for people to make use. Understand? Pressure, knowledge is not what the equation in the book, but that pressure knowledge is what the wind feels. It's what the river, flowing river, the water feels. It is what the water in the pipe flow feels. It is not the reading you are taking from the gauge. It is more than that. Temperature, it's the same. You can see the Celsius, Kelvin, whatever the scales. True for applications, for measurements, monitoring. But if you cannot understand what's the temperature for a tree, what's the temperature for the wind, what's the temperature for a little baby, if you cannot understand their language of temperature, you cannot make the students innovative, you cannot be innovative. In short, technology should be taught. We should be able to teach technology with no equations. That's why Einstein says once, your teaching can be true once if those teaching can be understood by 6-year-old children. Later I will show you the quote. Even now maybe. Uh, let me, yeah, let me, let me, yeah. Einstein, Albert Einstein. Those are the insight to innovations. Okay, those are the insight to innovations. Yeah, I will show you Albert Einstein what he says. I've noticed that even it's here about the education. He mentioned this. See, there are many things. So let me copy it here. What Albert Einstein said. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, this is not I said, eh? This is not I said, this is what Albert Einstein said. This is true, you know. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. So that is the saying. So when we teach technology, no matter what caliber of people, okay, so if you have know this potential of the approach of simple and can go to complex and known, you should start from known and you can go to unknowns. And if you don't know how to go step by step, okay, step by steps, then we have issues. Even myself, okay, we have issues because if we deliver the knowledge step by step, simple and known, it is always simple and it is always known. And technology is not about equations, but you have to teach the equations as well, you have to teach the maths as well, but you have to teach the definitions also, but it is more than that. So I'm sharing this because this is the way I share the knowledge with students, even the very complicated ones I explain. So we have to have this approach, and when we have this approach, our knowledge is live. When our knowledge is live, Okay, when our knowledge is live, creativity and innovations naturally comes because our thinking faculties are working very well with these forms of knowledge there. That's why. So that is very important to have this approach, especially for our side as lecturers, including myself. And this is the only way for us to innovate. So this is one of the insight for innovations for our side. And we are yet to learn the essence of innovations. Okay. So that's all about this. But with Steve Jobs, yeah, learn. And I refer that Einstein one for learn. Okay. Einstein one, I refer for learn. The learning approaches. So that is for teaching, really, I mentioned. If you can't explain, explain is a better word. Yes, if you can't explain. So under Steve Jobs, okay, my job is not to be easy on people. My job is to make them better. Okay, so I put four L's here. Learn is one thing. Okay, love. Okay, the other L. So Steve Jobs' job is he's really practical beyond the words, and this says how good is he for his staff, his employees, to make them better, not only for the employees but for the people. Yeah. So that is a kind of a loving aspect, and live. His life is, of course, is excellent, and leave a legacy. So Steve Jobs has done this because he is innovator. Start from there, but before that, he's a philosopher. I think you know that. Philosopher, innovator, enterprising entrepreneur. They can change the world, and there can be many things. And he's really a great person. He's really a great person. Okay. So this 4L is very important, and now our case we are late, but for the young staff, so how to leave this footprint of Steve Jobs when you are at more mature levels? Yeah, that is very important. But you have a very good opportunity. Even I have very good opportunity, but we are late now. Yeah, for the young ones, enough time. You can improve the capacity. Improving capacity in the sense is only being innovative, creative, and philosophical. No other way. And have a knowledge beyond the books. Yeah. So that's another message inside to innovation. This is good. This is a good one. So 4L. Okay. So this is very important. So in Sri Lanka, Hard to say. We have issues. So we don't have this Steve Jobs caliber people here because Steve Jobs are just one, but we had good entrepreneurs like Upali Vijayawardena and all, but they are no more. So maybe great people are yet to come. So I think you are among them. So we have to think in that way. We are among them, yeah, among the great people, and we have to try our best to get awakened to untold knowledge in the textbooks. Yeah, even you are learning maybe in the courses and the staff developments, this course, this train of the trainer programs. Yeah, good to follow all, but only there are limitations for the improvements. Yeah, because unleashing our potential, we have to do it by ourselves. So get exposed what you are not exposed. Yeah, so that is very important. So this is one of the quotes of Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs, back to Steve Jobs. I want to show his philosophical strength. I think I will use a quote to show that. Actually, we can learn from quotes because to get these ideas to generate automatically in our minds, perhaps it may not happen in our lifetime, but when we understand this means a little sense of this is induced. Yeah, we cannot be Steve Jobs, we are ourselves, but we have some better induction of some good things. So let me show you how philosophical is he. Okay, so let me show you how philosophical is he. Another Steve Jobs quotes here. Steve Jobs said that I would trade all my technology for an afternoon with Socrates. He's a great philosopher. So Steve Jobs said that. Of course, Steve Jobs, one way, he's a Buddhist. He's a very good Buddhist. Also, he respects other religions as well, including Hinduism. So he's great, and he said once that I would trade all my technology for an afternoon with Socrates. So he has technologies, he has patents, innovations, but for him, compared to the knowledge untold with Socrates, he appreciates more than what he physically owns. Yeah. So you can see how great his philosophical inclinations, Steve Jobs. They are different people. So in our case, yeah, if Steve Jobs is great, that is true. So we should not be necessary to be Steve Jobs, but anyway, as I remind to you in this slide, as a lecturer, since fourth industrial revolution took away everything from us, then to get something remained, at least we have to have that kind of philosophies as well. That's why we need, not to say be only innovative, but we have to be more, probably, how to say, not to say philosophical, but we have to be more with wisdom as well. So that's the message. So all are relevant for your today topic of insight to innovation. Okay.